everybody, this is Joanne. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a few months, well, it's actually probably been about a year, maybe a little more since I've done a recorded video like this. And I could tell you a long story, I've been through a lot, but I want to move forward. Suffice it to say, I am back. I have survived an ugly divorce, 2 knee replacements, moving, and COVID, and what else? Oh, a snowstorm in the middle of February, if you can believe it, in Texas. So anyway, that's in the past. Now we're moving forward, and I'm going to be doing videos, and I also have some other surprises coming up for you in the future. So anyway, today I just wanted to make a card, a happy birthday card. I decided to challenge myself today by making a masculine and feminine card using these same new products from Fawn. I honestly think the reason we have trouble with masculine cards is because oftentimes the thought is they will just get thrown away. I don't know if there's any avoiding that. Today's design, however, is one that's fun and quick using minimal supplies, so it's perfect for that person who will read and, shall we say, set it aside. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this. And if you haven't already, I'd love it if you would subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, and it'll let you know when I'm either doing live streams or I put up a new video. Okay, so without further ado, let's get to it. Today, I'm going to be using the Giant Birthday Messages set, which I just love. It's so beautiful. I love a big sentiment that can take up a lot of the card because, heck, who doesn't like an easy birthday card, right? That we make nowadays. And it has a die set, which comes with these really cute little pieces. We've got a present, we've got a birthday cake, some stars, and some confetti. And so that's really sweet. And a happy birthday. And I love how each of these have coloring in features. So we may or may not use those. I'm not sure. Another product we'll be using is this really, really cool, what's it called? Let's see, I can't remember what it's called. It's the Tropical Leaves Background Stencil. And it's a two-step I can't talk. It's a two-step stenciling system, and each of them you can color in different colors. So if you look at that, that's kind of how it looks once it's colored in. You will notice some brown inking at the bottom of these stencils. Fawn's web address is at the bottom of each of them. And that's the way they need to be positioned to do the two-step process. I took a Copic marker and just made those marks to make it easier to line up the stencils when I'm using them. Today we'll start off by creating the feminine background. I think this really showcases how much fun this stencil really is. What we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we're going to let's start off with the real busy one. I kind of like doing that because it's a lot of wow factor. And what I do when you can do it 2 ways. You can just get a bigger piece and then cut a piece out of it. But I have these pre-cut, these 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch pieces. And so I want to be able to just color on these. So what I do is I'll flip over my stencil, and then I'll just line it up with this. I'll try and find like a straight edge there. And then I will line it up and I will tape it on to the actual stencil. Let's see. So you just line it up and take some purple tape or another low-tack tape you choose and secure the paper directly to the stencil. If you place the tape in areas that don't have open space, you can use it for both layers. So then I'm going to take one of my handy-dandy brushes here. I just have these Amazon ones that I thought were super pretty. So anyway, and then let me think now. We've got more and we have less. I think what I want to do is I would like to have it be bolder. So I'm going to use this darker picked raspberry of the Distress Oxide inks. And I'm going to start off by applying that. And I also want to just kind of make it more matte and flat. I don't have to have all the different colors. This isn't the main focal point of the card. you'll see where I'm going with the main focal point. You'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. So anyway, so I'm going to go in. I like doing this. This is like therapeutic to me. It's like, oh, and it's so pretty once you're done. Oh, look, somebody's sending messages. Great. Well, we'll just ignore that. And then once, let's see. And I know pink leaves, right? Well, who cares? And then I can just move the whole thing around because it's attached to the stencil, right? Now, I don't know about you. This thing, I love it. And I'm really loving these layered stencils that they are coming out with. They really help us be creative to just a next level. And the ease of it, it's beautiful. I just love it. Okay, let's see. So there's our first layer. What a mess, right? And ready? 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! How pretty is that? So pretty. So I'm going to put this aside, and then we're going to, oh, you know what? I just noticed I missed some. Oh, that's okay. We will, let's see here, which piece is it? I gotta just figure out which piece it is. It's probably upside down because of that. Yep. Okay. Not hard to fix. Not hard at all. We just line it up. Oh, you know, it's super funny. We won't even see this. That's really funny. So anyway, so there's our first color. And we'll wipe that off in just a minute. I've got to get a wipe. So we're going to be careful. Hang on to that. Wipe up our bottom here. Isn't that great? Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. So then we're going to take our next stencil, excuse me, and we have to line it up. Oh, and again, let's see here. I think that was upside down. That's right. Okay, so now we just figure out where it goes, which it's simply that easy. Look at how easy that is to line up. So we can just pop it in over here. See where these flat edges are there? I'm just going to pop it there. I'm going to line it up nicely, like so, right? And then attach it with my tape that's already there from last time. Okay? And so now I'll put that away. And then I can just use the same brush because it was used with a pink. And what I'll do is I'm just wiping it off a little bit. I'm getting the most of the color off, right? Which, of course, since it's pink, we can't even tell. But you know what? I've done all different colors, and it does come clean. They just come clean. It's beautiful. So anyway, I'll get that off my paper. Now we have this really cute worn lipstick. And we're going to color it as well. Okay. Again, just take your time. Be relaxed. Enjoy yourself. This is like, oh, I'm looking like I'm this amazing artist. Haha. Little do they know. But you know what? You are an artist. If you put the colors together, if you put the look together, that in and of itself is an art form. You know? And I will tell you that, as I said in the beginning, I've been through a lot this past year, but this, being able to paper craft has really helped me. I was building and building and building. Like, I made everything available, I think, on Dreamy Tree. Like, I was building, like with my Cricut, I went crazy. I wasn't in the mood to make cards so much because, I don't know, I was just too depressed. But building things, like I made a whole town for Christmas and everything, really, really was therapeutic for me and helpful. Okay, ready, steady, ta-da! Isn't that pretty? So easy. That took me like 3 minutes. I mean, if I wouldn't have been talking to you, it would have been much faster. But, you know, I like the gap. So anyway, so that's the first one. Now, I was thinking about it, and I was like, what do we do for a guy? If we had this, if all we had was this stencil set, right? what would you do for the gentleman in your life? I use that term loosely. Let's see if you can guess while I do a little quick cleaning. Write your guess in the comments below and let's see if you're right. For the guys, I'm going to use these 4 colors. I have crushed olive, peeled paint, black soot, and vintage photo. All the distress oxide because they blend so beautifully. You can't not do it, right? I'll wash that brush later. Let's get another brush. Probably need a couple for this one. And let's line this up. Let's see. I turned it upside down. I'm lining it up with the straight side. And my hands are dirty too. I probably should wash my hands off a little bit. That's why I wear black. Then I can just rub my hands on my pants or whatever. And I'm all good to go. Okay. So we have that on there. And so we're not going to be as neat this time. This time, and you're going to have to follow me on this because it's a little bit of a journey. Okay. But it's fun. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to take off the lids and kind of go a little, let's just say I'm going to have some fun with colors. Okay. So what I'm going to start off with is just any color. Let's just say this, and we'll work from and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab it. Okay. I'm going to put some here, some here. Try and, I'm going to try and even it out to not have it be like the same color again. Like this is going to be different than the first one I did where I didn't want it. I want it very solid. This doesn't have to be a solid. It will be solid eventually, right? But just not now. So this goes with that. I need to remember which color goes with which. And then we're going to do that. We're going to do this. We're just getting a little bit of the first colors on here. You'll see in a minute what I mean. Okay. That goes with that one. Then, let's see here. Let's go brown. Trying to fill in all the gaps, And the black, I do a lot less of the black. You'll see why. Okay. So you see where I'm going with this yet? So that's the first layer. Now we're going to take our second layer and place it on there. Love how you can just go plop and it's in the right space. Okay. Push it down. And now for adding some black leaves. I found it looks really good with several really dark ones mixed in with the lighter colors. Next I go back to the greens and browns and spread the color liberally all around the stencil. It's important to be very random. Do you notice how layering these inks gives such a cool effect? Be sure to check it out when I pull the stencil off. Kind of cool, right? But we're going to take it a step further, okay? So what I want to do now, and I'll show you basically, this also works on it going horizontally. So what I'm going to do is I'm turning it around so it's going to have a different placement, okay? And then I'm going to attach it again. I'm going to try and fill in some more of those spaces. Well, let's do this one first. Well, we don't want to do it. So let's see here. Probably want to do like that. You want to have it be in different places. You don't want to have it in the same places. Does that make sense? Because basically we're trying to make, as you can tell, a camouflage look. I'll start off with black and put it in several areas around the page, and then apply some more of the greens and browns. I'm continuing the random pattern, and at some point, because it's the last layer, I'm making sure everything is filled in really well. Finally, I'll go into any of the random spaces and do some of the brightest green to fill in the larger clear spaces. I don't worry about attaching the stencil with this last step. I just move around the page and hold the stencil still as I brush. Okay, so now we have a camouflage set. How about that? Isn't that pretty? It doesn't matter about the middle too much because we are going to cover that up. So we're more concerned about the outside. But yeah, so that's the boys with the men's. And I would call that clean and simple, even though it's messy and looks complicated. The next thing I'm going to do is line up both of the stamps on a piece of 4 1/4 inch by 5 1/2 inch white cardstock. Here is where I made a bit of a mistake, and actually I'll make another one in a second too. I stamped in VersaFine Onyx Black ink. This is normally an awesome ink for black sentiments, but not when coloring with Copics. It has a tendency to run when it comes into contact with the alcohol ink. This makes for a challenge while coloring. I was careful to not touch the lines as I colored. I won't bore you with this simple coloring. I picked out a few coordinating colors of Copic markers and just colored in the letters, nothing fancy. I used the coordinating die to cut out the sentiments. Unfortunately, I misjudged the spacing, and as I was die cutting the second sentiment, I realized the top and bottom was cut without the stitched border. The first inclination is to have to start all over again. I instead decided to wait and see if the border I was going to put around the sentiment would somehow disguise the issue. I fairly quickly realized this was not going to work, so I decided to cut off the border with some scissors, which also looked great. The border's the star of the show anyway. And how about this border? I took the Magic Iris Tropical Leaves add-on die and cut 3 out of the FawnWatercolor Wishes Rainbow Patterned paper. I really only needed 2, but you could actually use 3 or 4 and fill in all around the sentiment on the front of the card instead of having the background. I had the third handy just in case I wanted to try this. I cut the circle in strategic locations around the die cut using the flat leaf edge as a guide, so they would more easily fit around the oval sentiment. I then took some liquid glue and secured the pieces to the edge of my sentiment. I first started on the ends with the more rounded pieces and then added the smaller pieces to the top and the bottom. I'm using the Barely Arts Precision Craft Glue. I decided to hop on the bandwagon since I'd seen it with so many other crafters recently, and it is a good glue. I do like it. It's pretty similar to my art glitter glue, but it's an option for when I don't have that available. It is a little bit runnier than the art glitter glue, or maybe the tip is different possibly. I'm not sure. Anyway, here's the end result. What do you think? I think it turned out super cute. I can see using foil papers, glitter papers, and more with this die to do a similar treatment. My test piece was in white on white, and that looked gorgeous too. To finish these cards up, I added 2 rows of foam tape to the back of the sentiments, and then put them on the stencil papers. I put the masculine on straight, and decided the feminine needed a little bit of sassy, so I placed the sentiment at a slight angle. I then attached the panels onto 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch side opening card bases, which I've pre-made on my desk. I'm pretty happy with how these cards turned out. I think I'm going to bring my inks and paper to the TV and make a bunch of these stenciled panels so I can have them ready to go when I need a quick card. Let me know in the comments below which is your favorite, or if you guessed the camo technique. I'd love to hear from you. I want to thank you again for joining me today, and don't forget, if you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe and that notifications bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Until next time, happy crafting!